Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Brownie. And today, we get to talk about what is popularly considered the best Star Wars film. This is everything that makes Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, a great movie.
Woo!
For the uninitiated, we're doing a series of videos where we break down the things that make each of the Star Wars films great or terrible. This is probably going to be our best episode yet. Episode 5 is a great movie.
I am so excited.
It is what? Okay.
That was some interesting harmonization, guys.
Well, we're so excited for The Empire Strikes Back. It's such an amazing movie.
Yeah, it was
Middle of the trilogy, and we'll get into the
For
points.
the first time in history, the second one was actually good.
Right.
That's true.
They've done it. They've proved that a sequel can be just
I mean,
as
technically,
good.
it's the fifth one.
Right. But we'll get right into it. So what's awesome is we have the return of all these awesome characters, and we get introduction of the new. My favorite introduction, I really love Lando Calrissian.
You got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled. How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you.
Great character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's an inherent distrust. It's like, you can tell even from the first moment where he's introducing to Han, he's like, ooh, gonna punch him, but then hugs him. It's just do we like this guy? Do we not like this guy? And then he's a dirtbag, and then he's good at the end.
Right.
And it's such a great.
What? It sounds like Han.
There's still a chance to save Han at the east platform.
He's helping. And then you just leave him. But no, it's a great point. You watch him in the beginning, and now that first scene justifies his behavior because he's trying to be sneaky because he's working with Vader. But I think he was really good all along. And I can't wait to see where his part goes in the new movie. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, now you're dating this. If people watch this in 3 months, they'll be like, oh, what?
So old.
This doesn't hold up.
Oh, my goodness.
What's more awesome characters, Kara?
Boba Fett.
There will be a substantial reward for the one who finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegrations.
As you wish.
No disintegration.
He doesn't have a big part, but he immediately gets established as a dude you don't want to mess with. When Darth Vader is being like, don't be crazy.
Right. I would like to recognize them when you bring them in.
Yeah.
I like the scene, too, though, where Han sneaks off with the garbage. And Slave One was the one who knew that that's where he would check.
It's Boba friggin' Fett. He's basically a clone.
Yeah.
He is a clone, sorry.
Yeah, but he's a not perfect clone.
Right.
He was made specifically for Jango Fett. He wasn't altered to age quickly and whatnot.
Like poor Rex. But
poor Rex.
All right,
my
Chris.
boy Rex.
Who else did they introduce?
Oh, of course they introduce Yoda.
One of the best characters in all of Star Wars. I love that puppet.
I feel like
what?
like we're being watched.
Oh, wait, put your weapon. I mean you no harm. I am wondering, why are you here?
I'm looking for someone.
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say.
Do
oh my
or
goodness.
do not. There is no try.
He's not in that much of the movie.
No.
They spend a lot of time with Han and Leia away from Dagobah. You get this sort of training montage, but immediately you get this impression that this guy knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Obviously he comes highly recommended by Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Force Ghost, but then also
5-star rating.
But it's Luke is compelled to go and search out and find him, and then from the introduction where he's kind of Yoda messes with him a little bit, but then they're into the thing, and it's Yoda knows that Luke has to be trained.
Right.
Right.
So it's
once Yoda calms down, he's pretty awesome.
And as far as the universe goes, at this point, in this era, we would see 1, 2, 3, beforehand, but not even seeing that. And I think in all of Star Wars, Yoda is the epitome of the light side of the Force. He is the best user, at least with like Force knowledge and skill.
Right.
And really good with a lightsaber too. But and that just comes across in this movie. Who doesn't love that classic wise old character?
Yeah.
Takes the role of old Ben, of being that wise character for Luke, and then just accelerates it even more. Just gives this awesome, I love the line, and that is why you fail.
I don't believe it. That is why you fail.
It's a really powerful moment where it's like you realize that, like, as impressive as the Force has looked up to this point, now you know that there's way more out there, the untapped potential.
And it's done in a way that's awesome. We didn't need anything flashy. We didn't need lightning or anything like we get pure, like, he's lifting a massive object.
Right.
And just the ship out of the water.
Well, and I guess, like, how much of Force use did you see really in A New Hope? Besides Luke doing his little...
They don't use the Force pull at all in The New Hope, do they?
I don't think they don't really use
the
Force.
They use Force stat, and then they use
they use mind trick.
And then the deflecting, and then that's it.
His
I think we
foresight.
see Luke pull the lightsaber to him, but
this is the first time you see like some awesome. I mean, look at how little Yoda is. He's tiny and he's lifting this massive X-wing.
Yeah, that's the classic. Like, it's not on the outside, but it's on the inside that counts. Type of thing, and like he just embodies that so perfectly.
Well, we love Yoda.
And then we flip to the other side of the Force. We actually get to see Ian McDiarmid and his role as.
Oh, I'm not ready for it.
Let's try it.
Horrible laugh.
That was close.
I've been practicing. I've been trying to learn the laugh, and it's very difficult. But like you said, exactly the opposite. I would say, in far of all of the Star Wars lore that we've seen, and especially at least what's canon, Palpatine's the strongest by far.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the Force.
I have felt it.
Right.
No one comes close.
Right.
The manipulation, and
at least in this generation.
Right, but I mean, like, that's what what these movies are about, is the light and the dark. And
the interesting thing to me is, like, Vader gets set up as like the big bad in the first movie,
right?
And now this is somebody he's reporting to,
right?
So it's like the guy.
How bad must he be?
Yeah, it's like if Darth Vader is like, bad. So it's cool, like, so you get to see him, like, and then all the interactions that Darth Vader and him have, like, there's not a lot, but like the whole thing where, like, if we can convert Luke to the dark side, he could be a powerful ally.
Right.
And then immediately, like, Palpatine's like, yes, he'll kill you and become my new.
Yes, the son of Skywalker, is amazing. And then what's really fun too is we get these brand new characters, but we also get to see and watch the relationships blossom and grow stronger with these old characters that we loved from Episode 4. And you can't beat Han and Leia.
Well, Your Highness, guess this is it.
That's right.
Don't get all mushy on me. So long, Princess.
There's just something about their relationship. Everybody loves it. It's so dysfunctional.
I love how snarky they are with each other.
Yeah, like, and almost like immediately at the very top of the film.
Yes.
Like in the hallway on Hoth.
You don't want me to leave?
You want me to stay because of the way you feel about me?
Yes, you're a great help to us. You're a natural leader.
No, that's not it. Come on. Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I? Then why are you following me? Afraid I was going to leave without giving you a goodbye kiss?
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
I can arrange that.
Yeah.
No, you're a valuable asset to the Alliance.
He's like, yes, but what about you?
great relationship. I love, the line when they're, they're just about to kiss on the Millennium Falcon and they get interrupted by C-3PO.
Yeah.
And there's so many fun moments between those two.
And they take the course of the whole film to like really get to the point where they're like admit to each other that they care.
Well, it takes basically Han's life on the line.
Right. But we're gonna we'll get to that.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But they have a great relationship. But we also get to see Luke becoming a Jedi, so that's another fun thing too.
Yeah, we touched on the Yoda part a little bit, but you get to see Luke transform from just a guy who sort of learned some Force tricks to somebody who's really like embracing what the Force has to offer. And like the power level increase is ridiculous from the first film to the second.
Right. One of my favorite scenes has always been when Luke is standing there on one hand, like force lifting everything with Yoda on his feet. I've always loved that scene.
Yeah.
Or I like the run and then the flip, even like the little back flip or front flip or whatever that was to get it. And then we get to see one character that I bet you was a huge shock. I could imagine what it would be like to watch the movie in '81. But Force Ghost, Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
You will go to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system.
There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
Actually see Alec Guinness come back as Obi-Wan is incredible. And just gives us a new concept of what the Force can do.
Yeah, you can manifest yourself into the Force when you die.
Right.
And like paying off the line from episode 4 is like, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can even imagine.
Right.
He came through.
Because he was instrumental. Like if he wasn't able to communicate with Luke to tell him to go to Dagobah to get trained, Luke never would have become a Jedi.
Right.
Pivotal moment in the movie.
Very pivotal.
Key moment.
Yep.
And then, so we've got all these great characters, right? Right? What's more iconic than the ships that we get introduced to?
Oh, I know.
Yep.
I know.
Well, we'll start off. AT-AT. One of my absolutely favorite ships of all time. And it's a ship.
Ground vehicle, whatever. It's the only thing that's on the ground that made the list, so we're going to put it as ships.
As a kid, wanted the Lego, wanted the toys. Never really, I don't know if they had a Lego back then, but it was I loved the toys. I got an old vintage one for really cheap at a garage sale. Half the parts were missing, but you could at least squeeze the trigger and move the head, and it would make the blaster sounds. And they're just so cool looking,
They are.
Albeit impractical, but they're still so cool, so intimidating too.
Yes.
These towering, Goliath transports.
Right, they're absolutely massive. Like Luke, when he's standing there, only comes to halfway up the foot.
Yeah.
And you get some really cool scenes with them. You get the guns aren't working or blasters aren't working. Let's switch to tow cables. They're actually able to trip them up.
Which are on the snow speeders, another dope vehicle.
Yes.
Snow speeders, again, iconic ship.
That armor's too strong for blasters.
And it was I'd always think of them, or I think of it as a snow speeder, but it's funny, we hear the line in the movie that's they're adapting to the cold or whatever.
Yeah, the speeder's having trouble adapting to the cold.
Yeah.
But so it's that's where we get these awesome new vehicles. In the asteroid field, you get the cool. We have another rendition of a TIE fighter now. We see a TIE bomber, which is so cool looking, and
which is actually kind of an interesting thing, is that we actually see a few different flavors of Rebel ships, but really only TIE fighters in the first film, right? In Episode 4. So then in Episode 5 we get some more variation, so obviously there's the TIE Advance that Darth Vader has, but then you get the TIE Bomber, which is really cool,
and it just looks cool. And then so again, the wings are slanted on the TIE Bomber, more like TIE Advance with an extra, bubble or whatever dome type thing. Really, really cool ship. And,
I noticed there's one on this list that didn't get written down. Slave 1.
Put Captain Solo in the cargo hold.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Oh,
technically.
my
WTF,
mistake.
boys.
Yeah.
Slave One.
Slave One's a really, like even though you really only see it just like flying around, it doesn't really, you don't get to see any of the capabilities that it has like you do in the prequels.
Right.
It's still a cool looking ship. You never really see a ship that's like tall and long, but in space, you don't need to be aerodynamic.
No.
Right.
You know,
That's
and it still
exactly
does have like sleek aerodynamic parts to it. Like it honestly reminds me of like a 50s Chevy for some reason.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
You know, just like the curves and stuff that it has. It's just such a neat ship.
Well, and it's the sound. They nailed the sound of the thing as it like zooms off after the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
It has like a little menacing like rumble to it. You know, it's interesting how they use these sound design things to like cue how you should feel about that.
Right.
And then, so we have the Death Star comes and goes in episode 4, but we also get to see a sneak peek at, we saw Star Destroyers, but now we get introduced to Super Star Destroyers. Just this massive, intimidating ship that is what
Darth Vader's got one.
Darth Vader's got one. So of course, the bad guy of all bad guys has to have the biggest and the baddest of the ships.
Of course he does. I mean, come on, boys. Obviously.
You know, so like
Size matters.
whereas a regular Star Destroyer is like it's a pretty intimidating ship. The Super Star Destroyer looks like New York City as an attack ship.
It truly does.
It's like when you see like a nighttime like cityscape in New York City. If you turn that into a ship, that's what a Super Star Destroyer looks like.
And then a regular Star Destroyer is Quilty, Minnesota.
Yeah, just a little guy.
Well, you got all this smooth going on, and then you have like the buildings, you know, and it looks just like New York. But so these ships and all these cool new introductions that we see help just build this awesome universe that's continuously growing with each new edition. And so as it grows, so you get the people, old and new, you get the ships, old and new, and then you get these new environments. And to me, Hoth is like one of the most iconic and complements the Star Destroyer or the AT-ATs and AT-STs absolutely perfectly.
Reminds me of Minnesota winter, so it's nothing I'm not used to.
Well, so that's the thing is like people always compare cold weather to Hoth. That's like the immediate comparison people make.
Right.
They're not like it's as cold as the North Pole. They're like that's cold as Hoth out here.
Right.
Well, on Facebook, there's always the memes that go around of Luke on a tauntaun or Han on a tauntaun going to the store for some snacks.
Right.
Do you need anything? You know.
Yeah.
So just
I will
great
take
stuff.
my heated car, thank you.
Yeah.
And so we see this awesome scene on Luke. There's some moments we're going to touch on, but so Luke leaves Hoth and he heads over to Dagobah, another really cool planet.
There's just so much just like wild, crazy life on Hoth. It's sort of like sort of embodies like the light side sort of ideas of it. Whereas like Mustafar is like with Darth Vader's planet is like barren, devoid of life.
Right.
You know, very dark side feeling. Granted, it's not in this film either, but like if we're just sort of drawing a sort of an external comparison. Whereas Dagobah is just littered with life everywhere. And there's I never noticed this before. Like you look in some of these scenes, there's like snakes and lizards and stuff all over the place, just like running around on set.
There's a snake inside Yoda's hut.
Yeah.
Just kind of coiled around the food, like.
Well, I like the underwater beast that eats R2D2 and spits him back out. You know, so fun.
Poor R2.
Yeah. Well, it was nothing that he didn't have coming to. when you put your droid where it doesn't belong.
Oh, right. And then anyway, so we get to see Han runs away from Hoth, Luke runs away from Hoth, and they go their own separate ways. And Han and Leia end up on Cloud City in Bespin.
Yep.
Which is another, so it's like a gas planet that you can visit?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like if Jupiter had cities.
Oh, I would love to go to Jupiter.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like such a cool idea, and like you couldn't have three more different planets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and then like into building on the collection of planets they already had. You know, it's like say if you're like a desert planet, a winter planet, Alderaan, which is now just rocks,
space rocks. But
you know,
those are the asteroids that they're blowing up.
Well, like, and again, it's kind of fun. So on Tatooine, they're harvesting moisture, but on Bespin, they're harvesting the gas. They're like harvesting the gas of the planet, which it's kind of fun.
Tabana gas.
Yeah, Tabana gas. So it makes you wonder, like, you know. Well, if we ever need whatever Jupiter's out of made of, let's just run over there and suck it all up, you know?
Yeah.
Hydrogen to power our cars or whatever it's made out of.
I think it is mostly hydrogen and helium.
This
is going to be the part where people are just going to destroy us in the comments because we don't know what Jupiter's made out of.
And they say Earth is running out of helium, which is cool.
You just make a space line, vacuum, and just suck it all up. Yeah, then we can run our balloons and our MRI machines. But anyways, back to Empire Strikes Back. Amazing movie filled with iconic characters, iconic ships, iconic places. But it's really the moments of the film. There's so many moments that we all hold dear and remember when we think back about this movie. And I know that, like, so again, starting off with the movie, I just love the Han cutting open the Tauntaun to save Luke. You know, and then
what's the interior temp of Tauntaun?
Lukewarm.
But it had to be said.
Just like this small detail, I didn't even notice it before, but somebody pointed out that like you can see the Tauntaun's breath and he's blinking, and it feels so real.
It's only a puppet, but still, it's got like the poofs of breath.
Yeah, the things that tie it into reality.
It makes it feel real rather than just like it's a puppet.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, no, it's very, very, very well done.
And then, you know, you got the probe droid enters the atmosphere and strikes down. You know, like Han and Chewie, you know, like trick it together, and you just got all these great scenes that take place on Hoth, and that like watching a kid. I mean, I think I watched the beginning of Empire Strikes Back more than I've seen any other part of the movie because sometimes I'd just watch the Hoth scene.
Really?
Just because it was so good. It's an epic battle. You know, you have the AT-ATs attacking the base, and Vader's all mad, you know, getting angry at everybody. You came in too close, you know.
Yeah.
And he storms through the base himself, and we get the awesome introduction of snowtroopers, you know, so it's like, again, expanding the Empire's, you can learn a little bit more about them. Now they have specialized troopers.
Yeah.
So, so did you like moments that you liked from Empire Strikes Back?
Well, I noticed it's not written down.
Well,
but when R2 goes into the swamp, and Luke's like,
R2,
where are you? And all of a sudden you can see R2.
R2!
You be more careful.
R2, that way.
And it his little periscope thing.
Yep.
He's so cute. I love it.
Again, just anchors that iconic R2, you know, quirkiness.
Sass.
You know,
He's
you can't tanker it, you know.
Yeah, and like you get like he's always got some sort of Swiss Army knife gadget that pops
that's
out.
a good way to say it.
So,
He does.
Yeah, so like the periscope is definitely a fun little moment.
I love R2
Swiss
so
Army
much.
knife. He's got the shocker for Yoda. That
Right?
he, like, you know, because he's ready to go.
Yeah, the little clamp
R2,
to
just let him
grab on.
have
Yeah.
So one of the, I know you brought this up, when Luke, after his snow speeder crashes, could have easily just turned around and run away, but he decides to take on an AT-AT by himself.
Well, he really establishes him as that you know, young, fearless hero.
Yeah.
That, you know, people are younger, and it's like Han's a little bit older. He's more willing to protect his life.
Right.
But Luke's got the, you know.
He's got to live for the princess. Son.
Yeah, right. But I just love the scene. He uses the little grappling hook and shoots it up there and cuts it open. You get lightsaber usage, and he chucks a grenade in there and actually blows it up from the inside. Special effects look fantastic.
It's the area that doesn't have a shield. The inside.
Yep. The blast came from the inside. So, anyways, we move on to Cloud City, right?
Mm-hmm.
We find out Lando has betrayed our favorite characters, Han, Leia, and Chewbacca.
We would be honored if you would join us.
And that scene when the door opens and you see Vader there, it was like,
that was such a gut punch. And then
Seriously.
he turns around and absorbs the blaster bolts from Han. So Han shooting first.
Yes. I love the
Doesn't
reflex.
even give him a second.
How
just-
great would it have been if they would have had Darth Vader shoot it Han first?
What?
How great would it have been if they all of a sudden Darth Vader's just like pew 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 at Han and then he shoots back.
Right. The door opens
anyway.
and Han just is shot dead, and that's it.
But no, so it's like holy crap, it's Darth Vader, and then you get to see him do something that you've never seen before, which is stop blaster bolts with his hand.
Right. All you've seen before is blaster bolts deflected by a lightsaber. Vader's like, let's take it one step further.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Just another flex on exactly how powerful he is as a Force
Okay,
user.
so I've seen things that have said that basically Vader's a drama queen. I think we talked about. Did we talk about
We've
this?
talked
in
about
New
this.
Hope?
Yes.
So this is just another reason, another way of him being a drama queen.
Yeah, well, he pulls it off.
He does.
He pulls it
When,
off.
when your boots that tall and a cape that long, you know you're in for a bit of drama.
Yeah.
It's true.
Pray I do not alter this deal any further.
So then, sticking to the Cloud City stuff, the whole scene with like gonna freeze Han and Carbonite to test out the system for Darth Vader to capture Luke and bring him back to the Emperor.
You hear me? Huh?
I love you.
I know.
Everything about that, like the environment is super cool. Like there's a lot of tension, like what's actually gonna happen. There's like the hope is lost moment.
Yes.
And then you get the iconic scene between Han and Leia, when Han is gonna get dumped in. Leia's like, "I love you," and Han's like,
I know.
I know. Look at that.
Just-
Kara's like ready to go. It's
so great.
We have T-shirts of it. It's an iconic line.
It's on the
I'm just
caricature.
shocked we didn't wear
Yeah, it's
it.
on
It
the
is.
caricature. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's spawned a generation of nerds' way to communicate that they love each other with that line. But it was super fun, and then there's like a little bit of fun history behind there, which isn't a part of the movie, but it's just the fact that was it not Harrison's forward idea to do the line that way?
"Yeah, he ad-libbed
He was
it.
supposed to say "I love you" too.
Well, they had shot it a couple times, I think, and the director didn't think it felt right, and so then they did it again, and he just ad-libbed it, and it's like, oh, that's it. Wrap
I
it
mean,
up.
that's very Han. I
Yeah,
can't see Han saying, "I
absolutely.
love you too, Leia."
Oh.
It's obvious he's gonna be like, "I know."
But it's fun too, though, because you like, and you believe him, and that's what makes the scene so good. Because he yells at Chewie, knock it off! You got to take care of the princess. Like he does love her,
He does, yeah. He seriously
and so
cares
it's
about Leia.
believable, and it makes it really, really fun. But just an iconic moment, and nothing is like as iconic as so we know. So Han gets frozen in carbonite,
Right.
but the scene with the red and the blue sabers, and they're standing there in the carbon chamber room, and that
where they
lightsaber
have,
fight.
Yeah, where the fight starts.
Woo! That's a great shot.
More Vader drama.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Yeah,
Because he walks into the room, just absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden there's, what does he say? He says something that draws Luke's attention, doesn't he? And like there's smoke billowing around him, and he's standing up on the platform like, I'm Vader.
That makes me like Vader even more.
Yeah, like you know that he cares.
He does. Yep.
You don't want to just like walking and cutting you in half, and be like, okay, going home now. I think I can still catch the space football game.
Hey, so his battle is not just physical; it's mental as well. He dominates the battlefield.
Yeah,
in every way possible.
Intimidation is such a strong tactic.
He finally has the high ground.
Well, he uses it to his advantage.
All too easy.
But the fight continues on, and we get a big reveal.
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
No. That's not true. That's impossible.
And this is probably the most iconic or most
Of the
quoted-
entire franchise.
Yeah,
of the
of the
entire
entire
Star Wars
franchise.
franchise. This is the thing that people know.
Is-
And misquote. People say, Luke, I am your father. It's actually, no, I am your father.
Exactly.
And like just like that is the moment that like generation people know where they were when they first heard that.
Absolutely. And it's fun too. It's a great line, iconic reveal. The character who played Darth Vader didn't even know the line.
Yeah, David Prowse, he said Obi-Wan killed your father.
Yes. And the only one who knew it was Luke and the director told Luke minutes before the scene, and then of course, and James Earl Jones didn't even believe it, the voice for Darth Vader.
Yeah, he thought it was a lie.
So it was like, that's how big of a deal that was, and up until that time.
Well, and you got to think there's speculation after the film goes out. It's like, was he lying? Is he telling the truth?
Right.
It's like they really leave it until you get into Jedi to know whether or not he actually was telling the truth. Yep, absolutely great. And so now we're leaving this episode where we talked about how much we love this movie. If you like this episode, put a like on it. It shows that you care about the stuff that we're making. Feel free to subscribe. It shows that you support what the channel is doing as a whole, and it shows that you want to come back and see what we're doing. If you're really interested, ring the notification bell. You'll be notified of everything that we upload. It really shows that you're supporting all the stuff that we're doing, and you're buying into what we're trying to build here. And comment down below with what your favorite stuff is. There's such a big amount of things that are in there that we can't cover all of it. So we want to talk to you guys more about it in the comments section. It means a lot to us, and we really want to see what you guys have to say. And of course,
may the Force be with you.